Have you ever felt so afraid that you couldn't take a single step forward, even when your heart longed for change? Maybe you've stood at the edge of a new opportunity, only to find yourself frozen by invisible chains of fear. This is the story of Amir, a gentle soul with big dreams, but an even bigger fear that always seemed to hold him back. Amir often found himself standing at the threshold of something wonderful, a new job, a new friendship, a new adventure, yet every time anxiety would whisper doubts in his ear, keeping him rooted in place. Most people never discover the simple secret to overcoming fear, will you? Amir's journey might just reveal the answer you've been searching for. Every day, Amir woke up with a quiet ache in his chest, knowing that fear would be his constant companion. He watched his friends chase their ambitions, start new projects, and build meaningful connections, while he remained on the sidelines, wishing he could join them. At work, Amir hesitated to share his ideas, afraid of being judged or making a mistake. In his personal life, he avoided gatherings and new experiences, worried that he wouldn't fit in or would somehow fail. The life he dreamed of, one filled with adventure, laughter, and purpose, felt like a distant world he could only observe through a window. Each missed opportunity deepened his frustration and chipped away at his self-worth, leaving him feeling isolated and small. The more he tried to ignore his fears, the stronger they seemed to grow, wrapping around his hopes like vines. Amir couldn't help but wonder, what if you never break free from the grip of fear? Would he spend his whole life watching happiness pass him by, just out of reach? Desperate for change, Amir began searching for answers wherever he could find them. He read self-help books late into the night, hoping to uncover a magic formula for courage. He asked friends for advice, but their words, though kind, never seemed to reach the heart of his struggle. Sometimes, he simply avoided situations that made him anxious, convincing himself that it was safer to stay small. But deep down, Amir knew he was missing out on life. One afternoon, while wandering through a quiet park, he met an elderly man named Mr. Rahim, known in the neighborhood for his gentle wisdom. Sensing Amir's turmoil, Mr. Rahim shared a mysterious story about a warrior who learned to face his fears not by fighting them, but by inviting them to walk beside him. Amir listened closely, sensing a glimmer of hope, though he didn't yet understand the lesson. Little did Amir know, a single encounter would reveal the secret to defeating fear. Mr. Rahim looked at Amir with kind eyes and said, "For 1 week, I want you to invite your fear to walk beside you. Don't run from it, and don't try to push it away. Just notice it, and let it come along for the journey." Amir hesitated, unsure if such a simple task could make any difference. But something in Mr. Rahim's voice made him agree. The next morning, Amir felt the familiar flutter of anxiety as he prepared for work. Instead of shrinking away, he whispered to himself, "Fear, you can come with me today." In a meeting, his heart pounded as he raised his hand to share an idea. His voice trembled, but he spoke anyway, and to his surprise, his colleagues listened and nodded. Later, he tried a new hobby he'd always wanted to explore, feeling nervous, but also strangely alive. He even reached out to someone he admired, starting a conversation he'd always been too afraid to begin. Each time, Amir noticed that fear was still there, but it no longer controlled him. Most people run from fear. Don't miss the lesson that could set you free. Sometimes simply acknowledging fear is the first step to freedom. As the days passed, Amir noticed a quiet but powerful change within himself. Each time he invited fear to walk beside him, its grip loosened just a little more. He began to do things he once thought impossible, volunteering for a challenging project at work, joining friends for outings he used to avoid, and even signing up for a public speaking event. With every small victory, his confidence grew, and so did his sense of possibility. Amir's relationships deepened as he opened up to others, sharing his true thoughts and feelings without the old fear of rejection. The world, which once felt narrow and confining, now seemed wide and full of opportunity. He realized that fear was no longer a wall, but a companion he could acknowledge and move forward with. The contrast between his old life of avoidance and his new life of growth was striking. Amir felt lighter, braver, and more alive than ever before. Imagine how your life could change if you stopped letting fear decide for you. What new doors might open if you simply took the first step? The secret to defeating fear, isn't to fight it or run away, is to accept it as a natural part of the journey. Amir's story reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward with it by our side. We all have fears that try to hold us back, but what if we saw them as invitations to grow, rather than obstacles to avoid. When we welcome our fears with kindness and curiosity, we open ourselves to new possibilities and deeper connections. Don't let fear steal your future. Your courage starts now. Together, we can learn to walk with our fears and discover the strength that has been within us all along. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing lessons. What fear have you faced and overcome? Share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, we're all learning to be braver together, one step at a time.